All right, teens, so the last muscle we're gonna do is called the trapezius muscle. And this guy right here is on the back side. And you see right here, it shows basically like a diamond shape. And it's basically like a trapezius muscle. It's triangular and paramuscle located on the posterior aspect of the neck and the thorax. One interesting thing about it, it makes the diamond, but also if you pay close attention, right here on our model, the trapezius is going to go from here all the way to here. But one interesting thing about it is it's superficial. So when I looked about what superficial means, right here for the trapezius, it means it covers the rhombius major and the los medius dorsi. So that means it's going to cover this whole area right here. So we got to figure out where our origins and our insertions are. So make a quick Google search of what are the insertions and origins for the trapezius. I'll give you a minute. All right, teens, so once you figure out the origins and insertions for the trapezius muscle, when I Googled it, I found this origin right here. It has three main parts: the descending part, the superior fibers, and medial third of the superior neutral line, external occipital protuberance, and the neutral ligament. The second origin is the transverse part, middle fibers, spontaneous process, and supraspinatus ligaments of vertebra T1 all the way to T4, or it could be T7 to T3, but I'm gonna go with T1 to T4. So remember, T1 to T4 is the thoracic vertebra. The third origin is the ascending part, inferior fibers, spinosus processes, and the supraspinatus ligaments of vertebra T4 to T12. So when I look at my model right here, what does that mean? When I did mine, I labeled all of the spine with the vertebra with the numbers. So you notice right here, I have my, sorry about that, my T1 right here, and also my C7, C6, C5, all the way up to here. So for me, I label them. And right here, when I put down, see for example, when I'm looking for the fibers and my origin, this little website right here on kenhub.com, Library Anatomy Trapezius Muscles. This is a great website because it actually shows me specifically. If you keep scrolling down, it tells you the origin and insertion, but it gives you the order. Say for example, the superior fibers attached to the medial third of the superior neutral line. So I don't know what that means. So, but luckily for me, they have the pictures right here. The superior neutral line of the occipital bone and linea nectaris superior occipitus. So if I actually zoom in here, I can see where my line is, right there behind where my occipital bone is located. So when I did mine, I used my marker, or you could use a pencil, and I marked the line right there. So I know that's my origin number one, right there. And it's right here. You can see it's one in the middle, a straight line. So after that, I gotta look for specifically attached to the spinosus of the C1 to C6 vertebra. So for my vertebra right here, unfortunately, when I saw this right here, they don't have the C1. They got all the way to C7, so it's missing one, but nevertheless, I got C2, C3, C4, C5, C6, all the way to C6. So right here, I put a little red dot right here. That's my origin right here as well. So here to here, I need to put clay. And the descending part just basically means that we're going down. The next part is the middle fibers that originate from the spinosus from T1 to T4. So if I click right here, if you're still looking for the line for the occipital bone, the external occipital bone, there's another cool little diagram right here that tells you, or the green one is exactly the one right here. Same thing. You want to zoom in a little closer. And right here, it tells you the vertebra C1 through C6, like I labeled right here. So I highly recommend that you label it or mark it with your pencil. That way you don't get lost. And that's the neutral ligament right here. Okay. Next are the inferior fibers that originate from the spinosis process from T4 all the way to T12 and the respective spinosis ligaments. So it's all the way down the thoracic vertebra. So T4 to T12. So for that one, I have it right here. T4 sorry about that. Let's see. T4, so I got my T1 here, T2, T3, T4, all the way down to my T12 right here, which I label with my red dot. So that tells me that all my clay is going to cover from the base of the skull or my occipital all the way down to here. So we're going to use a lot of clay. So my next part is I'm going to look for the insertions. So the insertions are the superior fibers inserted on the posterior border of the lateral third of the clavicle. So the lateral third of the clavicle, remember right here, it has our diagrams. And you go to lateral third of the clavicle, right here, that's my insertion right here. So if I flip it, I put my insertion marker right here. There's my clavicle bone here, and that's my lateral here. Next one is my middle fibers inserted to the medial margin of the acromion of the scapula. So acromion of the scapula near the superior crest of the scapular spine. So if I go back, right here, and the green part's kind of a little faint to see, but it's right there. So the scapular spine is located right here. There's my spine right here, the scapula, and I put my little red mark, my insertion. So that's number 2. I also placed it right here on my other one, just in case you want to do on this side too. But remember, it's going to cover this whole thing right here. So I'm going to do on my left side, that way you can see it. Next, I'm going to go basically the third one, which is basically, where is it? The acromion of the scapula, which are still part of the middle fibers. So if I go acromion, there you go, acromion of the scapula. So if you notice right here, it's still my back side. And then when I flip it over right here, you notice that the acromion is right here. So you notice it's going to cover all this to here, basically forming that diamond shape. So that's all my 3 insertions right there. So now we gotta sculpt this guy. So for me, I already have my sculptor right here, and I have my clay. So I already flattened out using my tools right here. So as I go along, I'm gonna label it and see where my dots are right here. My dot is right here, so I'm gonna line it up right here, my clay. Try to go where the spine is, right at the border. And I'm just gonna maneuver it all the way down. Then I gently go up. And where it hits my line near my occipital bone, right here, where the line is. There's my line there. So, right there, but I still need to put more clay right here. Even though it's lined up well, I'm missing the bottom portion right here, because where my dot is right here, I'm still missing. So, just gently put down in place there. I'll use my tool right here just to sculpt it. After I sculpt it and take this part right here, I'll just add 2 there. There you go. So I get it there, see where my red line is at, and I'll just add to the piece right here. Just trying to eyeball it where it's at. There you go. So now it's lined up. The vertebra's lined up here. Remove this part from the back of the occipital. Okay. Now I gotta line up with my scapula right here, with my chromium here, and make my diamond shape right here so it goes over. Tricky part is to hold it in place, that way I don't move everything at once. There you go. There. Now I got this extra part, now I can cut it right here. That way it makes my diamond shape. So I'm just gonna use the line right here. There you go. It's good to have enough clay, that way I could just maneuver this out of the way. So you don't put too little clay on it. It's better to have an excess amount of it.
Well, hello, hello.
After that,
You're really loud. You're looking very dapper today. Or put together, if you will.
okay. There. There you go. So now it's lined up with the spine all the way to my cervical vertebrae, all the way to my thoracic, all good. Now I'm gonna make the final touches to make sure it looks like my diamond shape right here. Now we see here. He knows mine is right here. So I just need to make the diamond shape going around the scapula here. So after that, my scapula is right here, so I just try to go underneath it. there you go. I'll remove this part. And you can remove a little bit more and still not it up. Okay. All right. So now that my clay's lined up with the spine of the scapula, forming my diamond shape right here, and everything's lined up with my cervical vertebra and my thoracic vertebra, looks like you got it. And now it extends right here where my acromion, the clavicle was. So now the last thing is to put my lines down. So you notice here I have my fleshy connection right here and my lines right here going horizontal, but it's also going up right here. So now I gotta do that right here to the last part. So go all the way here. There's my line going down here, all the way down the spine, but also makes that diamond shape. So I go inward to my left. Then I go down to make this diamond, and then go all the way back to my spine again. There's my line right there, and it goes all the way to my T12. There. Now that I have that one, now I can start making my lines. My lines are going up right here. It's diagonal. So right here, now it's straightening out right here, my line. Oops, I went a little bit too far. Go here as well. Right there. Now I just need my top right here near my occipital, going gently up the ladder. And there you go. I got all my lines lined up. Just move this one a little bit further. Remove that excess. All right. So now that I've finally figured out all of that, I got my diamond shape. All my lines are lined up, similar to what I see right there. And now your trapezius muscle is all done. Now you can just finish the questions on your formative once you've done sculpting your clay.